Hey everybody, Cam Capital here with a video on Clover Health investments for Friday, April 16th. So big day for Clover. It is a SPAC play from Chamath. It closed today at 882, up 20% exactly on the day. Looking at the 5-minute chart here, you see high at 1003, low intraday, market hour 723. So obviously this blue fib was drawn off the top. But you see here early in the morning, incredible strength, a little bit resistance at the long term, 78.6. We'll see that when we get out to the daily. As you know, Clover has been beaten down for a little while, but great strength all day, and usually the double-digit mark, that $10 area, whole dollar area. You don't get them go straight through it the first time. And you can look at it here, even whole dollar mark, $8 first, hit it, pull back, then we get the break of it go through. $9, same thing, push through it here, significant pullback, right? Basically 35-cent pullback, get through the second time, push higher, and get here. First time got to 9.99, pulled back, hit 10.03, and it was a quick reversal. So if we go to the 1 minute, you'll see it here. It got real choppy up here, all right, pulled back, and really it was just this big green candle pushed us right to it, and there was a massive wall at 10. It broke through that wall quickly and then sold off, right? So obviously the high candle today on volume, 2.8 million shares traded in 1 minute. But that was definitely the reversal for the day, and continue to sell off, essentially to this double bottom here at 8.3, which once the fib level is drawn was right at that 38.2. Good retracement level you like to see a bounce on, and that's where we got it. And then we held the 50 here in the final 15 minutes of the day. So there's kind of like speculation why Clover was moving today. So if you use whatever news source you have, but here, TD Ameritrade, why Clover Health could be a big short squeeze, and then you get the news coming out closer to close. Clover Health investment shares move lower. Traders circulate Hindenburg Research tweet. The premise of the squeeze in Clove today appears to be a data error. And then S3 Partners, which is, it's like I don't really know what you call them, but they were doing short interest stuff for GameStop, got pretty recognized for that. But they're saying S3 uses FactSet to apply float data for their algorithms, and we'll look at the tweet here in a second. But basically saying that there's 83 million shares from the CEO that he can't trade, so they don't count that in the float. So here's the actual tweet. So S3 uses FactSet to supply float data for their algorithms. Can't speak. Clover float is 26.26 million shares, and categorizes the CEO's 83.6 million shares as non-tradable and not the float number. S3 shares shorted is 39.11 million. So the resulting short interest percentage of the float is 148.94, and their S3 short interest percent of float is 59.86. So when GameStop squeezing, its float was around 150 and higher, so a lot of people are going to compare this to GameStop, obviously off that. But you can see the data here too when you go to Yahoo Finance for how it's categorized, right? So Yahoo has a float at 107 million shares, but shares outstanding are 145 million. And I thought it was kind of funny, they start listing these implied shares outstanding now. You look at the 6 number, what it means, assuming the conversion of all convertible subsidiary equity is traded into common shares, so a lot bigger number. And you see their institutional insiders how it's held, but here shares short 38.5, so pretty close to S3 numbers. But obviously when you change the float significantly from 107 down to 26, it really changes the number down here below. So that was the cause of the move today, so we can look to see next week if it continues. So now we'll go out to the daily on the chart. You see, Clover has been in this pretty significant downtrend since the beginning of the year. 1745 on the SPAC news, sold off, hit a bottom at 631 briefly after their earnings at the beginning of March, and then kind of pushed back to the 9 EMA. The 78.6 fib was acting as resistance above. We roll down, basically, buyers come in, hold the $7 area. We got this one push on the 8th, got us back up to that $9 area, sold off the $9 spot, and then today took off like a rocket. And obviously today was the high volume day, so we put in a lot of volume down here, especially intraday. The low 8s, his point of control was there most of the day, but we baked all the way up here to 1003, so it pushed us up into this area from February. And if you look there too, on volume wise, a lot of volume was sitting there at that $10 mark, and the bid and ask was heavily skewed at that $10 mark. You just see all the weight sitting there, and the quick breakthrough was quickly smacked back down. And then if we pop out to the weekly, so you get a better look here, you see we couldn't close over the 90, and man, the weekly touched it last week, getting a little closer to it. And here you can see on the weekly kind of close to the 22 EMA, so look to see if we can get a reversal going forward off this news for Clover. And then just one last thing, I've been checking out these Std Dev channels, and you see basically we closed over the 1, got up to the half, basically halfway through the zone on the weekly. Daily was looking pretty similar, but really where I think it came into play more was on these 5 minutes, and even on the single minute level, especially the single minute one, because it changes a lot quicker. But even here towards the end of the day, so these lines are moving at all times, right? So they're, I think, based off of a 21 unit period, so just like a moving average, right? So they're moving constantly, and so even when here this half D line, when the price was actually here at 1130, this green line was actually down here below it, so acting as support as well. And as you see here, just on the close that it's moving, we went back up to this other 2.5 Std Dev area on the 5. So something to look at. Trying to find more ways to incorporate this into my trading. I think it was kind of a hindrance today, just from the front side move, because when it was on the 1 minute chart, when obviously this incredibly spread out now, but when it was at in 8 to 815 range, the 3 Std Dev, which is the red line, which is now all the way up here, was sitting right at this 9.2 level. So that was looking like it would be an area where price is going to reverse, right? So if it goes over that red line, it's basically a 97% chance that the stock will reverse direction or stay under it. So things to look at. Hope you got something out of this video. Let me know in the comments what other videos you'd like to see over the weekend. I'm going to make another Tesla GameStop AMC video for today, and then other videos for over the weekend. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see. As always, appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. We'll see you in the next one.